channel, okay? Because, look, I know that I'm not a DIY channel. Like, I never claimed to be. I just wanted to make videos for artistic expression and fun. Like, I don't, personally, I don't make these videos to be, like, educational. They could be educational through osmosis, just in that I'm sharing my experience. Because I love, like, real visceral interaction, and I think just seeing what people went through with COVID and lockdown, and just knowing that lockdown's not really over in a lot of parts of the world, and just like a lot of people like are single, or they're just like, I don't know, like I feel like there's a smug buttness. People that are kind of in relationships, they feel like they have like their companionship on lockdown, and that I don't know, like I just feel like there's a lot of like, I feel like people in relationships could sometimes be more humble pie. I do, because how should I put it this way? They don't have everything on lock, and I don't think they understand that sometimes maybe people want to communicate. Like honestly, like I personally, I don't feel lonely. Like I've never felt lonely a day in my life. I've never been needy either. Like that's the thing about me. Like I'm just very autonomous. I just enjoy conversing, and I kind of think we will take back the conversation. Single people are never needy or lonely. I just want to take that conversation back, because there's a lot of people in relationships, they're not quite as gregarious or happy as they always portray themselves to be. And a lot of people in a long-term relationships, like marriages for years, do you think they're all happy? Like, that's why there's a high divorce rate. So I just want to say, like, that's just one thing that's always kind of salient on my mind is, don't ever like assume because of someone's status. Actually, single people tend to be less needy because we take care of our own needs. In fact, to me, the definition of needy is like needing to rely on someone more. Like the more you do on your own, the less needy you are. Like I like to keep it real here. Like, so I just want to say, like, if during the pandemic, that's an edited video. I've had a couple days off, so I'm just making some edited videos. So anyhow, because people always want the edited video, so I did it, right? It's a braided bun. I think I showed how to do it before in one of the live streams. It's probably tricky to some extent, but I just know how to do it through practice. I don't do any specialized kind of buns, but just I have a lot of hair. And the reason I'm not the biggest fan of updos is like they cause a lot of, like, it just makes my head get a headache with the mask and glasses. So I like the way they look, but I'm not the biggest, most giant fan. Plus, like, I will never be a fan of the messy bun. Like, no, not to hate on the messy bun, but I believe in like thoroughly combing your hair out and taking your time on your hair. So like the whole messy bun thing, like I'm not trying to like get down on the messy bun or anything. It works for a lot of people, but I would rather just take the time and invest it, like set aside time and invest in your hair. But with that being said, like to me, like there's certain other things like that I don't think are as important. Like if I'm spending time on my hair, I'd rather skip a meal, okay? I don't need to always eat a big breakfast. Like I'd rather eat later maybe if I'm doing something with my hair. Like it depends on what your priorities are. Like some people are like, oh my god, like I have to have these 3 structured meals a day and I need to pack this like elaborate lunch. And I'm like, I don't know, like I'm happy not eating at lunch sometimes. Like the whole 3-meal regime thing, I'm just like, it's a little bit much. I'm not gonna say say because the person didn't want to be recorded that was here, okay? It's just out of respect because some people don't want to be on video. So I just was doing a hair video that day, and just out of respect for that person, like I'm not gonna like mention it. So anyway. Not everybody wants to be on YouTube, and a lot of people in my life don't like YouTube, and they don't like, I don't know, like if somebody's over, they don't really like that probably wasn't a good time for me to record, honestly. So yeah, that's one thing you need to do when you start a YouTube channel that you have to be very aware of. Like, and I think, okay, so this is, I think I'm gonna kind of revamp the description of my channel. I'm definitely a long hair entertainment, like chat channel. Like, I love to have conversations with people, you know? I'm not gonna say like they are somebody that's in my life, but I'm not gonna say who it is because the person doesn't want to be mentioned on camera, okay? Like, they just don't. Like, that's it. Like, I'm transparent about my own life, but if it pertains to someone else and they ask not to be on camera, I'm just not gonna, like, yeah, anyway. So yeah, that's one thing I was gonna say about, like, I think where people run out of steam, like with the highly edited vlog style channels, and where they have a high posting schedule, and a lot of people get burned out because eventually some people don't want to be on camera anymore, or they may have been on camera at one time, or somebody in their immediate circle is on camera, and then later, I don't know, they have a falling out with that friend, and then that video's still up. And then some people feel like, I don't know, I've seen people delete videos in the past. So personally, I just like to keep things more to just about myself. Like, I'll talk about my experiences, but it's more just general pertaining to me. It's not about other people. So that's kind of how I do it. Like, there's a fine line, you see. No, definitely not. I'll just say it's a relative, okay? No, they don't, okay? But that's all. Anyhow, no, I don't, like, okay. I kind of have a friend right now that I have, like, an ongoing texting, meeting kind of interaction with. I mean, we're friends only, and it's not super, how do I put it this way, like, I think he's a nice person, but I don't see it going anywhere, and I have tried to establish my friendship with him, okay? But it only will go to a certain extent because he's very pro-casual culture, and I don't do casual culture, so, yeah. I mean, I don't know, he's touched my hair a couple times, but yeah, if somebody's pro-casual culture, there's just like a limit line for me, and it doesn't go beyond that, and like, we are friends, but I don't think he's grasped at this point that, yeah, I'm anti-casual culture. Like, I know a lot of people are really pro-casual culture these days, but just everything I've seen from it, it's so unhealthy. So, like, the other day he did say that he missed talking to me, so we kind of reconnected as friends, but that's the extent of it, because I don't know. I'm not going to be part of the casual culture world anymore, and people really want, like, so he's, like, looked at my hair, and he likes my hair, and I think he's a nice person, but I don't know, like, here's the thing. Once you've shown that that's all you want, like, if you just are somebody who wants a very casual kind of lifestyle, like, there is a limit, and that's fine. We can be friends, but we're just not gonna have the kind of friendship he wants. So like, yeah, that's been a thing with a lot of guys, like in modern California, maybe in general society. Like a lot of them think, I don't know, because I guess there are women that are just down for that casual kind of lifestyle, and a lot of people do it, and they do it fluidly and openly, or they do it secretly, and I just like, I just think casual culture is bankrupt, and I think the people who participate in it are missing something in their life. But I try to be respectful of someone I can be a friend, but there's a limit. Like, so yeah, I can touch my hair a couple times, but yeah, there's a limit. Like, it's not, but I'm not really seeing anyone, and it's not like that's a major goal for me. Like, because I've been single and I've been pretty happy single, and I've gotten to the point in my life, like, if I'm going to be single and I want to meet someone, like, I think it's not like I want them to have a six-figure income or anything like that, but I'm looking for certain criteria now, and I'm being a little bit more picky and selective about that sort of thing. Because in the past, I was like, oh, you should just give this person a chance or that person a chance, and I'm never gonna be like one of these women that's very picky with a list, or like somebody who's kind of callous and they're like starter marriage. I think that's kind of weird, like starter marriage, like what the heck is that supposed to mean? But there's a lot of people, okay? Yeah, it's a big hair tie, but it kind of got stretched out. I think the elasticity on it is like, because I wash my hair ties, okay? It just got kind of stretched out over time. So I think like its longevity, its life is kind of coming to an end. Okay, so what was I going to say about people that have like the whole starter marriage thing? Like, okay, I don't think that's much better than casual culture, to be honest. Like, I feel like that's a step up from casual culture. And there's just a lot of things that I guess, like, because I'm more introverted or I have different expectations than people, like, I don't know. I guess because when I was little, I didn't like have a dream wedding. Like, I didn't play like Barbie because I wanted to have them get married. Like, that was never my dream. Like, I was never like the little girl. Like, I guess I was told the little girls had a dream wedding, and I never had like that. Like, I don't get that. Like, I mean, I've met little girls like that, but you know, in like all the movies, I never had that experience or those thoughts, and yeah, so I was single like until after college, and I dated a few people, and I'm not like somebody who really loves like the whole big dating scene, and I like to be myself, and I've just decided at this point in my life, like, if I do meet someone, I want it to be someone I'm really compatible with, where it's good, not like one of these people that does a starter marriage or a starter list or engages in many partners. Like, I don't know, like, there's just a lot of things about, like, there's a David Bowie song actually that I thought about at Modern Love, like, just how bankrupt it is and how it's sad. Like, it's just sad, and people think hooking up, polyamory, all these things, and I'm not saying polyamory is new, but it's kind of a deficit in your life somewhere, I think, if you need those things. Like, I just feel like you are missing something deeper. Like, maybe you don't have a hobby, maybe you don't have an interest, maybe you don't have something within yourself that you need to fulfill it, like with multiple people and not having like a strong connection with one person. Like, so for me, like, I just have met people, okay? And this is why I'm not super envious even if somebody's in a relationship, because there's a lot of people that do have good marriages, but I've seen a lot of people who just have like very conflictual or like compromising type relationships. And I feel like if you meet the wrong person, the right person, that there isn't really that much of a need to compromise. Like, I don't know, I just have these thoughts about that, and it's not about this God has to have a six-figure income, he has to have this or that. It's just like, yeah, I actually just want something that's good, maybe a little more old-fashioned. Like, not somebody that's like rigid in an old-fashioned way, but just somebody who has better values, I guess. Like, something that's kind of lacking in the modern life. And you know, my friend actually, oh my gosh, she finally got married, but she was hitting the dating scene hard. Like, okay, like, you know, I think people that get into relationships easy, like, they think, like, they're kind of snobby about it. Like, they're like, well, why is it so hard for somebody to get in a relationship? They're very snobby bobby about it. But they don't always have like the most perfect relationships either. Like, their relationships aren't exactly super good, but like I've heard them be like really snobby, and they'll be like, ooh, like, but they'll be the first people to complain or fight with their like significant other. So I don't take snobby Bob relationship advice to heart. Like, personally, like, a lot of people, like, they're very defined by that. They think if they're not married, like, they're friends, that they have missed some big life milestone. And I don't know, like, I'm envious of people who actually have a good relationship, because like they have a connection, like, where it's like really beautiful, and like they enjoy being together, and they like to do things, and they're not referring to each other as a ball and chain. I don't know, like, I think like a good mentally healthy relationship where you respect that other person is just key. And I feel like that's something you should hold out for. So yeah, I can be friends with people, but I don't think like to me, like my one friend, she did all those dating sites, okay, and she was meeting educated men, all right. And she's a very educated person too, but it was still a lot of the same thing. And like I say, a lot of people who are easily in relationships, they can be kind of judgy about it, but there's a lot of people that just want casual arrangements. And sometimes on a dating site, you meet a married guy or a guy in a relationship, and they will just openly say, hey, I have a girlfriend, but she lives far away, so I'm just looking for like an arrangement. Like, and you're like, oh, okay. And they do exist even on the more high-end dating sites. They exist in the Christian dating sites. So I don't know, like a lot of people, like I guess some people, they really just want to date, and they go at it, and they go at it hard, and like that's a big goal for them. But that's not like, that's never been like a life goal for me. Like, just meet a lot of people and date a lot of people, and I don't like it. I like things to happen more naturally and organically. So like for me, I just like to see what happens. And I've just learned over the years, don't be like defined by other people's interpretations of like what a life goal is or a life milestone, because a lot of people have really whack, and yes, I'll tell you that, a lot of people say it whack ideas about like going into debt, getting married by a certain age. Like, these are not good things, because a lot of these people end up getting divorced. Like, I was watching a video, okay, about a lady that kind of regretted a kind of wedding she had, okay, because I guess she had it like at a location that, now that she thinks about it, was kind of culturally insensitive, and they're not together anymore, okay, and it's less than 10 years. So a lot of people get married really young, and then I don't know, like, they're not with that person anymore. And I guess I always aspired to something where you would have longevity with a person, you would have common goals with a person, like things that just stood the test of time. Like, I believe in that kind of stuff, and I'm looking for that kind of stuff in my life, and the casual dating culture just does not supply that for me. Like, I'm not a narcissist, I don't need supply. Like, no, that's gross. Like, people are not your supply, okay? That's a cool, like, I've talked about that before. But what I'm saying, it doesn't provide something that I think is endearing. Like, why don't you just enjoy life? So, yeah, I would prefer to be single and wait around for somebody that I have simpatico with, you know? Like, I'm very... If I had a daughter... No, people can't start unbraiding people's hair, because remember, we have social distancing and we need to be respectful, and that is, I'm gonna say right now, like, I know like you guys are just like kindly curious about that, but I'm not even going to like entertain that scenario, because a lot of people would probably like scream and call the police if you touch their hair, okay? So like let's just be very respectful of other people. Instead of like a stranger, why don't we say, hey, why don't you join there are sites for people that are interested in that kind of thing, like hair play and things like that, like hooking up, like things like that. Join a site like that. Like look, I'm not anti people who want to do stuff like that, like who want to have like some sort of interaction with somebody like that, but get to know somebody first. It's not like for your safety and their safety and just your peace of mind and their peace of mind. Like it's better that we just think, how about if you want to like experience some braiding somebody's hair, like you can meet someone it's mutually discussed before you do it. Like it's not something I would ever do. Like I've never like personally I've never wanted to meet someone to braid my hair. It's always been more organic. Like one of my closest friends that I actually met online, he's actually like he loves long hair. But he's very cool about it. He's just like he thinks long hair is really pretty, and he's growing long hair himself. And I just think like he's one of the coolest guys about it. Like I actually like he's anonymous, but I did a video about him almost a year ago, just about how he's trying to grow his hair long, and like his girlfriend and I think some of the people in her family, like they kind of put on him a little bit. But I kind of just did that video to encourage men who might have women or other men in their lives who kind of are looking down upon people for growing their hair long. Like I'm into long hair, okay? Like I just think long hair is beautiful, and I want to encourage people to have their long hair goals. So like I have nothing against people who want to do hair play, but that's not like why I like long hair. Like I don't personally, like if I had some sort of a relationship with someone where it was good and they were interested in braiding my hair or combing my hair, then yeah, it'd be different. But no, like a scenario with a stranger, that to me, no. Post COVID, that's not ever gonna happen, and you shouldn't even fathom it. Probably, like you probably should start like thinking, if I'm curious about that, maybe I want to meet people on a site or something where people are into hair combing, or I don't know, whatever it is people are into, but that's just not my great jelly jam. I'm not into it, okay? Like no offense to you guys if that's what you're into. I don't really sing naturally. I'm not musically inclined. I like music, and if a song's stuck in my head, then yeah, I'll be singing it, but I don't know, like I don't really just do it on cue, because it's just sometimes I get the words wrong unless I like study the lyrics, because they will like okay, a lot of songs that I like I remember from when I was really young, and then I will have thought they said one thing, and then I need to look them up to see that, oh, like no, that's not what they were saying. You know, or just even more recent songs. So yeah, I don't know. If I have a song in my head later, I'll sing it. But lately, I haven't. Like I have songs I've been listening to, but they're not really songs I'm good at singing. So I sing occasionally, but I'm not musically inclined, and I'm not really comfortable with singing like myself. Like I like to draw. Like so, when I do have time, I take time drawing something. I like to cross stitch. This is a reprint of a cross stitch palm tree I made. I like things more like that. But I'm not musically inclined enough to be singing people, entertaining people with my singing voice. Maybe occasionally if it just comes out, but it needs to be more organic for me. Like, I don't know, mood, you know. Mood is what I guess I'm kind of conveying here. I kind of have to be in the mood to do that. So yeah, I guess I'm a long hair entertainment channel. Like I've been trying to like find a niche for myself. Like, what do I consider myself? Long hair entertainer. And I like the artistic side of long hair. Like when I did the braid flip the other day, that was kind of fun to like film and edit, like the way I put it together. I just like kind of the aesthetic of long hair with different outfits and like the look of it. Like those are the things I like about long hair. Like just sharing like the aesthetic of it and how I feel like, well, you know, years ago I started doing videos talking about how I was growing my hair out because I talked about at the time like women could be the most brutal and judgmental when it came to social pressure not to grow your hair out. Like women did not want other women to grow their hair long for some reason. I don't know why other women, like that's one thing I don't understand. Like everybody says we're a really open society and people get tattoos and people be like, you go girl, you got a tattoo. But I literally would encounter women who seem so hip and cool, but then like they would kind of make comments about me wanting to grow my hair long or asking when I was going to trim my hair. And I think it's rude to ask someone when they're going to trim your hair. Like, they would be incensed if I asked them when they were going to get their next tattoo, or if I asked them when they were going to, like, what color they were going to dye their hair. But for some reason, it seems like it's acceptable to ask a woman just because she's growing her hair kind of long when she's going to trim her hair, or like how long is she going to grow her hair, or the more fun one, when you just have random strangers on the street suggest that you should donate your hair. It's like you're not allowed to have long hair or something just because a lot of women don't like it. Like that was kind of, I don't feel that way anymore, but I can see how, but then here's the irony of all that. There's all these women, okay, and I think people need to look at this because I was watching another documentary about the hair trade, okay? And I need to do a deep dive about this, really. I want to find out, because I always have a suspicion in the back of my mind, okay? If some of the places where people donate hair, where they say the hair is not high enough quality to make the wigs for the cancer patients, and, you know, people donating their hair, that's perfectly fine. But they said 24% of the hair supply for extensions came from North America, like in this one documentary, and I saw on Al Jazeera the other day, and I started wondering, I wonder if rather than throwing away the hair that some of those companies can't use to make a wig for like a kid that might have cancer, that hair might not be suitable for that, but do they sell that hair to extension wig makers? Like, I'm just curious, like, is there a profit? And I feel like, okay, when I have a suspicion, when my antenna goes up about something, when you just kind of like feel like there's something going on deeper, and it seems like people are really pressuring other people to do something because they're like it's a good cause. Like I always ask myself, like there's certain things that are a good cause, okay, like donating blood. That's actually very helpful. But then there's other things that are predatory. Like I want you to look into this. Like on buses, like they're now to low-income people, they're like asking them to donate their plasma, which can be very dangerous to your health if you don't research or talk to your general practitioner about whether that's a healthy option for you. But it's very predatory too, because these ads are not an exclusive upscale parts of the community. They're having these ads on buses where many people, like it's on the Omnitrans bus, okay? And I just find that ad very problematic because I know there's people that ride that bus in San Bernardino, and it's not exactly a high income area, okay? And the bus goes up into Redlands, which is a upscale area, but like the people riding that bus, like, and I have read about how the plasma cell donation is very problematic. And I don't know, it's kind of scary they're pushing that on. So I always have questions about like, okay, like yes, some sort of things, donating blood, like I do think that can be a good thing, but some other things, like if you want to do that, I personally have never donated blood and I don't intend on doing that. Like I'm not anti doing those things if you want to, it just doesn't feel comfortable to me to donate blood or hair. And it's just something personal. Like, I don't know. Like, okay. Maybe it's some of my bias because I was not a fan of the Jehovah's Witness religion or anything. But when my mom used to go there, the only thing I kind of still stuck with me from that experience, I think, is like I kind of thought they do kind of have a good point about how you shouldn't really, like, I don't feel like donating something from your person unless it's something that makes you feel comfortable, but it makes me feel super uncomfortable when people ask or think or consider it acceptable to ask. Like, I just don't like it. Is that okay? And I don't like, another thing too is I don't, like, there are synthetic wigs nowadays that look just as good as like human hair, and just knowing how predatory like this hair trade is, like I haven't done like, I don't know if I'm ever gonna do like a really comprehensive video about it because I feel like people who are into hair extensions would be offended, and I really don't want to be called out on that, okay? I don't want to blow up for making a video like that, even if there's a validity to it, because it just feels like, just do your research. Like, it's not like, it's not a deep political cause that I'm willing to, like, search down to the ends. I'm just not. But I find it very problematic, and my little antenna goes up every time that they're saying that there's this good cause and you need to donate something to it, just because I have seen sometimes like how charitable donations aren't always used exactly the way people think they are, okay? I've just seen the other, like, I've kind of had some like experiences a couple times where you kind of see that it doesn't really go like, well, with one organization where supposedly they were going to give school supplies to just the low-income kids, and then all the kids got it at this one school, okay? And not all the kids needed it. And I know that they had really good intentions, right? Like they gave, but some of the things like, okay, and instead of like, to me, I would have thought, oh, they would use that money maybe to help a low-income mother, like buy some meals for her family or something so the kid wouldn't go to school hungry. Like, I kind of thought that's how they would use the money. But they just bought all these supply kits, and it had a lot of like supplies in there that are not allowed at schools, like white out, okay? And all the kids got it, and there were kids whose parents would pay several $100s for them to go get like hair extensions and dye their hair and do their nails, okay? That got those same supply kits as the low-income kids. Like, everybody got one. There was no distinction onto who those funds went to. And a lot of kids were just like wasting the supplies. Like, they all got a little dictionary, and they were ripping pages out of the dictionary, and they were using the whiteout, and some teachers had to confiscate it because they were tagging like bathroom walls with it, and it just, and that may have been a well-intentioned donation. I just, after a couple experiences, I'm not saying that volunteer work or donating isn't good, but my idea of doing that is I will buy a burrito for homeless people. I will do something that I know, like directly, like if somebody's hungry, I'll just buy them some food. Like, I've done that before for homeless people. I'm not gonna give them money to go spend, but I'll buy them a burrito. You know what? I'd rather buy a few burritos here and there for homeless people than donate my hair, okay? That's my grape jelly jam strong cookie like interpretation of that, and I'm down for the positivity of it. Yeah, like, I'm gonna own it. I'm just gonna own it. So yeah, and I'm not anti other people doing these things. I just, that's my take on it. But I'm not gonna do a video talking about it, like, or digging too much deeper into it. But I think I'm gonna just read and kind of research and follow my little antenna, because I feel like my little antenna is telling me there's something deeper going on. And anytime your intuition's kind of cute about something, I think it's good to look into it, you know? And at the end of the day, yeah, those organizations do make wigs for children, and I think that's commendable if people want to donate to that cause. It's just, what I don't like is when women just think it's okay to tell another woman on the street, because she has long hair, that she should donate her hair. And it's very offensive too, because look, I'm not growing my hair long for religious reasons, but you have like Sikh women and that, you know, and Pentecostal women and women from some other faiths who grow their hair long for spiritual reasons. And if you were to just tell someone or make a comment about like the length of their hair, I just think it's very hurtful and not kind. Like, it's interesting that we're just so pro everything else. Like it's cool to get a tattoo, or it's cool to get a body piercing. But then like long hair, oh my god, like people act like, how dare you like have long hair? Like that was some of my motivation for what, like doing a few videos about long hair and just talking about it, and I started getting some interest in it. So, you know, I still do videos on other topics on my other channel. It's just not as popular because people, they want the, I don't know, what do they want? They just watch certain things, and an art project takes me a long time to create. I'm not one of these people that just like draws on the fly. You can if you want to, it's just not me. And I know that about, and I would feel stressed out. Like, one thing I am kind of type A about is if I'm going to do an art project, I want to plan it out. I want to take my time. I don't feel like it's wasted time because it's like a labor of love. I want it to look the way I want it to look. It doesn't have to be, Rome wasn't built in a day. Like, I will take my time on it. I will conceptualize it, and I will point it to the, when I start doing an art project, I'm gonna push it to look the way I want it to look. Like, I don't feel like, that's probably why I could never like have studied art professionally. Like, I considered like almost majoring in art in college, but just like the pressure that those people have, they have to produce so quickly, and then it's not fun anymore for me. Like, I just want to do it when it's fun, and I want to make it the way I want to look. Like, I don't think I would ever have been an artist because like you have to be very quick and you have to create things very quickly. And but you know, one thing I kind of did think I could do that was a little bit more quick was photography. Like, I do feel like, yeah, I kind of wish I would have, well, they were just starting to do the digital camera when I was getting out of school, but it was still film camera at that time. And I didn't want to do film cameras. I feel like the chemicals, and I'm still not interested in that component of photography. I know some people still think that's modern photography or that's artistic photography, but I kind of disagree because I feel like you can still have an artistic photo just with a digital camera. I don't know why it has to, like, some people are just like, well, my dad, he took a lot of photography courses, and he's one of those people, he's like, it has to be a professional photo. But I think I do have a little bit of an eye for photos because from a young age, my dad did study, he didn't major in it, but he took enough classes, and he had like a professional photo camera, and he just like told me certain things. And also just, I kind of have an eye, like there were photos I took when I was young, that very young, like 7 or 8, that kind of are neat because I'm like, I see even at a young age, like I had that, like I captured those things. Like, I'm not saying every photo I took was perfect. It was a little camera that was kind of chintzy, okay? But for that little camera, it did a pretty good job. Yeah. Like, I'm kind of impressed when I look at some of the photos now. I'm like, that is a pretty neat photo I took. And I just love that I have those photos and those memories. But the thing I kind of like about photography is you can do it a little bit more quickly, and you don't have to, like I get people are type A about some things, but the one thing I'm type A about is if I do an art project. Like, I want it to look the way I want it to look, and I will take the time on it, you know? And it's not wasted time to me because I wouldn't be happy any other way. And back in the day, that's what people did anyway, you know? I think this comb is definitely better for detangling. I'm sorry. I've tried to give this comb a chance. It's not that I don't love it, like it, the way it looks. It's very pretty. But my verdict is a plastic comb is just so much better for detangling. Like, I know people really love their wooden combs, but I'm just not sold on it because these teeth of this plastic comb are just so smooth and they get in there, and it reconfirmed reconfirms everything I thought about how you can do long hair on a budget. It does not have to be the most expensive products out there, you know? It just reconfirms all that. And by the way, I wanted to say something about comments being deleted on YouTube. I don't delete people's comments unless like they write something X-rated, but I went to look and I saw some people had commented on one of my last videos and the comments disappeared. So I don't know like if YouTube is deleting comments or they just deleted the comment maybe for some reason, but I suspect it's a YouTube thing again because YouTube's weird. Like there are videos with women doing really scantily clad try-on, some like lingerie, but then somebody says something nice about long hair and that comment goes to deletion bin. Like there are some comments I'm like, yeah, some comments are just too far out. Like if it's just too, like if it's a super sexualized comment, I'm like, you know what, YouTube is not the place and I'm not really promoting that, like honestly. But if it's just a nice comment, if somebody says, oh, you look sexy with long hair, I don't care about that, that's fine. But I'm talking about like real far out. But I'm like, I know YouTube thinks like it's really good at editing comments with their software, but I'm like, that's a little too much. I mean, come on. Like, I think the robot should be more distinctive than that. Like, it shouldn't just like say, oh my god, I see that word, I better delete it. Unless the people, like, because it was a comment from somebody who comments on many of my videos, and I didn't think it was an offensive comment, and I went to go look at it to comment back, and it was gone. But I don't know. I could be wrong. It is funny that for the longest time YouTube was allowing those spam link comments to just be on all the videos. They're finally like kind of cracking down on that, but like that went on for years. And apparently, like, there were ISIS beheading videos on YouTube with ads. Like, YouTube, where were you back then? And why is everybody else getting punished for your lack of insight, okay, or lack of oversight? It's not the general population's fault that some bad apples posted something bad on YouTube, okay? Like, most people know how to behave, and they're not posting crazy stuff like that. So, I don't know what to say. And most people don't, like, just, like, if a video is, like, okay, so, somebody had a video of a pear tree, okay? Blossoms on a pear tree. It was a video of a tree, okay? A tree on their land. It was just a tree. And apparently, YouTube said that's not appropriate. So, yeah. Anyhow, it's so silly. It really is. But I probably should get going.